Welcome back to EzroniX Stories with yours truly, Ezron. Tonight's story, it is soaked in nightlife, the kind of drama that brews when the sun sets behind laughs, cocktails, and loud music. When the bill is coming later, always later, it comes later. But it does come with a lesson about love, about showing up, expecting affection, and then living with a lesson about dating. And most importantly, to know when to leave. It's just like many love stories do. Simple. A man, a woman, a place to catch up. But then the unexpected arrives and ends in a way that might just leave you grinning and laughing to yourself. Okay, go ahead, lean in, hit and folds. So listen to me, please listen to me. Just this once, no interruptions needed, just this once. So this happened. The girls, the bar, the bill. I know it sounds crazy, I really know. But it did happen, I swear. A real story. Downtown, late night, a boy, a girl, a bar. Sounds simple, right? Yeah, that's what you'd expect. But no, it wasn't. I was there alone in the corner. I just stood by for just one glass of wine, just one. That's what I told myself, I remember. The waitress had just placed my glass on the table when I saw him, the fool. I'll call him the fool for the purpose of this story. He was a fool. Yeah, he was. Maybe at first, he really was. He looked like he had walked out of a 9-to-5 PowerPoint meeting, buttoned up shirt, tie choking his neck, tucked in, stiff, a corporate guy, Probably had kids and a wife back at home waiting for him. And yet, here he was, there, sitting alone at a table, in the corner, in the bar. You know the kind there down. And he didn't belong. Everyone could see it. He knew it. I knew it. Hell, even the shadows knew it. He kept turning around, turning his head, looking around, fidgeting in his seat, watching, checking his watch again and again and again, restless. He was waiting for someone. I could tell that much was very clear. A girl maybe, a date, something like that. He was waiting for something special. But what he got, it wasn't what he expected. Not at all. So, they arrived, they did, 3 of them, 3 girls. They walked in like they owned the air itself, giggling, laughing, confident, sharp. They didn't even slow down for him. They knew where they were going. Straight to his table. He blinked, confused. Smiled, timid, hopeful. But his smile didn't land. It fell flat. He looked around, uncertain, unsure. His body language told it all of it. This wasn't the plan. It hadn't been the plan. It was supposed to be one girl. Just one, a quiet drink, maybe something more. But this, oh my God, who were the others? The other 2 girls, who were they? Now, the girls, let us talk about them. They were town girls, city girls, the kind that knew the game, played it, and often wrote the rules. Ripped jeans, short skirts, mini dresses, half tops, skin everywhere, night confidence oozing. This wasn't just fashion, not at all. And if you thought so, you would not survive in the night yourself. It was a statement. They came dressed for the night, for attention, for power. And they knew the bar like it was their home. They flocked that table, floated around like smoke, took up space like a storm. They didn't just arrive. They took over. They owned the place. The fool tried to adjust, tried to keep up, still smiling, still hoping. But even from where I sat, I could tell he was drowning. They didn't see him, no. They didn't care for his presence, no, they didn't. They signaled for the waitress before even taking off their jackets, before even taking off their sweaters. Drinks started to flow, laughter spilled. They danced in their seats, swayed to the music, screamed when their favorite songs played. It was their night, their rhythm. He was a background, an accessory, a wallet with legs, let us say. Still, he tried, poor fool. Leaned in, said something, got drowned in the noise, tried again, smiled wider, shifted the chair, tried to lock eyes with the one he came for. Nothing. To them, he was not there. Well, he wasn't, not until the drinks ran low. Then, the one he had come for, she turned. Hands on his arm, soft smile, sweet voice. Should we send for another round, babe? Just like that, he nodded. Of course, another one. And so it began. So from there, it just spiraled. More bottles, more shots, more glasses, more drinks, more laughter. That wasn't his. Toast to another one, just noise and neon and nonsense. He thought he was in it, part of it, the fun, the vibe, the whole night. I watched him laugh too loud, too forced, giggle like a man trying not to look out of place or left out. But he was left out. He was just the founder of this nightly festivity. The well-timed, well-targeted sponsor, the working ATM in the tucked-in shirt that had just got off the 9-to-5 job hustle. His wallet bled. With every order, his face twitched. Barely, but I saw it. He laughed on cue, nodded on cue, clinked on cue, but his eyes, they were starting to sleep. Then came the shift. He stopped drinking, he just watched, held a glass, maybe, sipped nothing. And when they laughed, he laughed too, late and unsure. I watched him closely, now fingers trembling, forehead damp. He kept checking his phone, typed something, deleted it, typed again, paused, licked his lips, took a breath, put the phone down, picked it up again. He was unraveling quietly. Every tray the waitress brought made him flinch, just a little. The drinks kept coming, so did the music, so did their energy, just kept rising. And him, he was fading, sinking lower in his seat. And that's when he finally looked up, looked around, and saw me. Saw my eyes, my face, my judgment by this time. I didn't look away, and neither did he. Not right away. Then after a few seconds, he looked away, quick, embarrassed, probably caught my eyes judging him peeling through his act like glass. I think something shifted inside him. Checked his phone again, pretended to type, then pretended to pick a call while he looked around, nodded like he was in some important conversation. It was all theater now, all games, all drama. He picked up a bottle like it was his cue, held it like a prop, stood up, slowly swaying just a little, almost dancing to the beat, to the tune of the music. One hand holding the bottle, pretending, the other pressed to his ear. He walked calm, deliberate, like a man who was stepping outside to take a phone call, like he was coming back, So he danced around while moving up. I knew it. He wasn't coming back. This fool, oh my God, he wasn't coming back. He passed the back counter, walked past the waitress through the door, and then gone. Just like that. At first, nothing shifted, nothing broke. The girls were still caught in their orbit, laughing, pouring, dancing, leaving. They didn't even notice that he was gone. Another tray, another round arrived. Bottles opened, shots poured, and then the beat skipped. One of them turned to his seat. The seat was empty. His seat. Where was he? Too empty. Too long. Then the second girl paused, broke furrow. Then the third girl, the one the two looked at her like to ask if the owner of the seat was coming back. Where is he? She reached for her phone, called. No answer. Then she began to text. Waited. Nothing. The rhythm was gone now. Their night derailed. They looked at each other. The realization settled in like a dust. He was gone. He wasn't coming back. That fool. He had flipped around the script. I almost laughed. He wasn't under pressure anymore. He He was probably under his covers by then, sleeping off his quiet victory. They had danced, but he had disappeared. And that bar, it was just starting to get interesting. So I braced myself for the next part because I knew something had to give. Something had to give this night. So the music was still loud, but their mood deflated. The girls sat in silence, now phones in hand, the drinks untouched. The laughter had left the building. His seat, sat there like a ghost in the middle of their table, watching them. Now it breathed. It really breathed. Then came the waitress. Not smiling, not amused. Dead. She told them her shift had just ended. She was going home. But their bill, first, it had to be paid. And then she goes home. Then she just stood there, waiting, not a word. Then she tapped her walkie-talkie. Moments later, the manager appeared, arms crossed, face blank, the kind of blank that means business. No confusion, no questions. Just the bill. Please, pay up. The girls froze. Each one now holding their phone like it could magically save them. Looking around, pretending to scroll, but they knew. They were town girls. They knew the drill. He wasn't coming back. He had played a better game. How had they just got beaten at their own game? They knew no one else was coming either. They whispered among themselves, counted nothing, hoped for miracles. The manager didn't budge. He called someone, and then two cops walked in, two of them. No smiles, no softness, no time for tears. One nod from the manager was all it took. The girls were asked to step out, one by one. And me, I sat still, sipped my wine, made a silent toast to the fool, who turned out to be clever after all. Vanished from the vultures, left them with the bill, the silence, the fallout. The girls, the bar, the bill. Oh, that world. Never again. Never again. And that, dear fellow story lovers, is how the night flipped. They came to play. They danced. They laughed. They ordered. The bar dry, and still they never saw it coming. They got played. Simple. The girls, the bar, the bill. If that got you smiling or shaking your head or learning something, you know what to do. You know the drill. Like, share, and subscribe to EzroniX Stories. Share it with a friend who's been played before, or who plays a lot, or the one deserving of warning. And if you love to read, the full stories waiting for you on our EzroniX website. Links is in the description. Sign up for EzroniX newsletter while you're there, or also the link is in the description below. The next one may just be your favorite, so stay updated. Until next time, keep listening, keep watching, keep being human in whatever you do. Don't pay the bill unless you know what you're ordering. Serious?